This is Amber Cypern. I'm your host for this, and I'm joined by Alpha 5 and our special guest commentator for this Pilot Wings race that we have coming up, Darkman. But first, we do have a few announcements. First and foremost, SGDQ 2021 online prize submissions are now open. If you want to check out information on that and find out how to submit prizes for the event, go to gamesdonequick.com. If you are watching on YouTube and you'd like to support our live content, do consider checking out our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/GDQ. And of course, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe to any Twitch channel of your choice every month for free. So please consider using your Prime Gaming account to subscribe to the GDQ Twitch channel. So I'm very, very excited about this Pilot Wings race. Alpha's put a lot of effort into organizing Speed Seasons 3 up to this point, and this is our last opportunity for people to get into the top 8 before we go to playoffs. So, Alpha, do you want to tell the folks at home what Speed Seasons 3 is all about and where we're at right now?
Okay, so Speed Seasons, it's the third one in the series of seasons that we've done in the past with Speedruns Live. Now it's its own independent thing. But it's a get yourself speedrunning tournament where every 2 weeks, I announced the game. You had 2 weeks to practice and learn it, and then there was a big race. You earned points. This is the last of those races, Pilot Wings. If you want to join that race, you can still do it. There's about 20 minutes before entry for that closes. These races are open to everybody, but basically, yeah, that's the whole gist of the tournament. And where we're at, this is the final race. Playoffs have mostly been decided with the people having the top 5 highest amount of points having locked themselves in. However, no seed has been locked, and the bottom 3 are still fighting to stay in because there is a race for those last 3 seeds. Anybody from 6th through 9th can take it, and it's going to be really intense, especially since a lot of people went very, very, very hard on learning this game, and it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, I know, for example, we do have Shrambles on display today in our set of featured streamers today. Shrambles is 9th place in the standings. That you can check out the standings on Speed Seasons website, which I posted in chat. And we've got Justafen, Pop-Tart Cat, and Shrambles all in the bottom 3 there, places 7 through 9. And Shrambles has a shot at getting into top 8, just sneaking in there. But he has to do really, really well. Like, he has to win this, essentially.
Yeah, he has to get more than 76 points to barely pass Pop-Tart Cat. And because the lowest race is dropped, basically for most of these racers, this can only improve their standing. Some racers have like low 20s as their worst race. Some racers like Pop-Tart Cat, their lowest race is a 40, so they need to do really well to improve their standing. On top of that, Justafen has already skipped a race, so every point he earns is just a point that he gets. So he locks it in if he gets like at least 17 points, which I think, if I'm looking at this correctly, is not last place. Or, well, I think he has to get 8th out of the 10 racers or something like that, and he'll lock it in. Because the most points Shrambles can end up with is 343 if he wins, and he has gone insanely hard. His PB is crazy for this. It's very exciting to watch this. And he's only played this game for 2 weeks. Like, I know he hasn't touched it before, so. But yeah,
it's really impressive seeing like how hard some folks have gone. Like, I know Shrambles went from last week with Crash Team Racing going, I'm probably not going to make it, to like when I was speaking with him yesterday going, I have to do well. I want to make it. So it's definitely been interesting, and I know Socrates has actually been really enjoying playing this game as well. Like, Socrates was like, I wish I had more time than just the 2 weeks, and I was like, well, at the rate you're going, you're probably making it into top 8, but so you have a chance to keep playing it.
I think the worst place Socrates can finish is like 7th or something like that, and that's if everybody that's like the weird scenario if everybody ties for first place and gets a 100. Then Socrates could finish, 7th. I think, realistically, he's going to finish 4th. But it's a lot of people put a lot of effort. A lot of people were daunted by this game, and it is just nowhere near as bad as anybody would think it is. I think a lot of people had more fun with it than they were expecting. This game is mildly memed to death, but it's actually really fun and very, very skill based, even though it doesn't feel like it.
So speaking of running the game, we have our resident expert, Darkman over here, who did our demonstration run, which was hilarious, and also did our tutorial on the community spotlight. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I don't know if I'd call myself the expert, because, like, you know, half the runners here have a better time than me now.
I mean, I didn't say how many quotations were around the word expert, but there were quotations implied.
That's fair.
But what are you looking forward to in this race? What are things that the folks at home should be looking out for?
Yeah, I think for me personally, what I'm looking forward to is just seeing kind of the different things that people have kind of come up with. We kind of talked about it a little bit in the tutorial 2 weeks ago, but Pilotwings is a game not about necessarily doing kind of the same thing, kind of like, you know, needing to do the same inputs over and over again to do a certain trick or whatever. It's really different from playthrough to playthrough, so it's really about adapting to what's kind of going on. So I'll be really curious to see, and it's also about like kind of playing to your strengths too, so I'll be curious to see like what the runners kind of favor, what the kind of strats they've come up with on their own, that sort of thing. It'd be really fun.
Yeah, for sure. I'm also just like, I'm wondering if we're going to see any of what happened to you where you appeared to have landed and then fell right through a platform.
I guarantee you there's going to be some sort of meme at some point. What it is, who knows?
So, like, I hope everyone is ready to bust out their clip buttons, because there might be some clip-worthy moments in this race. I know there were clip-worthy moments in the tutorial for sure.
There's going to be some clip-worthy moments just because I've seen one of the strategies one of the runners has done, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's very spicy and very amazing.
That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I do like it.
That's for everybody else to find out later.
Everyone is very, very excited. We're also like, this has been a journey up to this point, just seeing all the different games. So for those at home who are wondering what games we've done this season, our first game was like back in March, and it was Super Mario Brothers 2, like all levels, and that was just a taste of like what to expect going forward. And incidentally, Just Defend was the one who took first in that race. And then we've got, game 2 was Doom, and that was a very interesting race where, like, of the folks who are potentially in the top eight, Piper did the best there, with a 4th place time. Yeah, 4th place time.
Behind everybody who plays Doom on the regular.
Exactly. And then game 3 was the Link's Awakening Legend of Zelda. Wow, the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX, and that was any percent no system transition or and wrong warps. And Pika Pals placed second in that, right behind TGH, who had actually played that game like regularly. That was the only race he entered, because it's like, I see LADX, I click.
Yeah, mildly got world record, you know, just haphazardly, like the week before in that category.
Something like that, yeah. And 1UP40 also did very well, and Shrambles also did pretty good in that race as well. We had, Katamari Damacy was an interesting entity in this season.
Yeah, Socrates smashed it, only losing to mid-boss.
Yeah, like Socrates absolutely like did incredibly well. Piper not too bad either, in 4th place with a 45.05 instead of as opposed to Socrates 41.53. I do recall Socrates had a great time with that. Then we had Skyblazer as game 5, where Pika Pals like came out first, just 20 seconds before St. Joe as well. But like everyone did pretty well. Shrambles though was the one who's like talking to me about like when we get to playoffs and, you know, bans start happening. Shrambles is like, I'm just banning Skyblazer.
Yeah.
And then last Sunday, or not last Sunday, 2 Sundays ago, we did Crash Team Racing, where everyone seemed to have a good time, even those who didn't practice. It's not a particularly difficult run to do, like, completely out of the box with no strats. But Piper and Joe had a really close race for that, I remember. And LK also did really well as well. But now that leads us up to Pilot Wings, where any percent / earn some golden wings is going to be what determines whether or not some of these folks are going to make it into top 8.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely crazy. Everybody, and I looked at it, there's outside of the CTR, which it felt like a lot of people just went in like, this is a cozy game, I'm going to have a cozy time. Everybody has finished basically above, in that top 8 threshold for every single game, with, outside of, Doom, but that's a hard one to say, everybody finished in like top 10, but that race is also being farmed by people who race a lot of Doom. So
yeah, Doom was an interesting one because we got a lot of Doom runners just joining. Even King Dime, who was supposed to be our commentator and did our tutorial, was like, can I race in this? I want to race in this. And then we ended up having who was our commentator for that?
That was Mythical 9.
Yes, and I remember that was actually a really good race. And King Dime absolutely smashed it. But there's like it's a really, really eclectic mix of games here, and I think for the most part, like people mostly had fun with these, and I think Pilot Wings in particular, everyone was just like, this is a struggle when it came to the casual playthrough, and then people started learning it and got more acquainted with it, and it just turned into a much more fun speed run than they were expecting.
I think what helped for a lot of the competitors is like, some of them have played the game before, so they knew kind of coming into it what to expect. And I think for a lot of other people, they kind of knew the reputation behind this game and like how difficult it can be. So I think it's one of those games where like they very much like, okay, if they're going to commit to this, they're going to commit to this.
Exactly.
They like, kind of like, they definitely put all of it into it. And I think that's going to show in the race today.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to like how everyone does, because we have our featured streamers. We're planning for 6 featured streamers, but we have, more than just that joining the race, who are not being featured right now. Like LK has entered this race. Pop Tart Cat, who is the person that like to have eyes on for whether or not they're going to do well enough to stay in top 8 right now, it has also joined. But we've also got so Alpha, you mentioned Hayfield Bay earlier when we were getting the show ready, and I'm not entirely sure, like, is that the world record holder?
That is the world record holder who Darkman and I didn't know exist, because they just randomly took the world record like a week or 2 before this even happened, and we're like, oh wow, huh. So they have joined this race. It's going to be neat. Don't know how consistent they are, because this game is, consistency is king, but when you try to go super fast, it's hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of the storyline too behind this race too. That should be good now.
Yeah, so we're looking at like, how many people do you think are gonna do the just go through all the rings in the skydiving level and fall through the floor like thing that you showed when I asked what your closing thoughts were last show?
Sorry, say that again.
I said, how many people do you think are going to be utilizing the strat of go through all the rings in the skydiving section and just crash but still pass, like that you showed off at the end of the last show?
I'm not gonna spoil, but I did happen to watch a runner over the last 2 weeks utilize that strat, so I'm fairly positive at least one, though I'm not sure if we're gonna see it on stream. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm hopeful it appears on stream because it's very, very amusing when it does.
Very fun
when it does
strat.
happen.
I think
So
everything
have
we're
you
gonna
ever
see,
failed successfully?
I think everything we're gonna see is gonna be a very fun strat.
Yeah, like I'm really looking forward to the race, and we're gonna be starting in at least 4 minutes, assuming everyone isn't ready yet in our speedruns live.
Is
room.
ready in the speedruns live thing. I'll give him. You know, I'll let him know we can start early.
Pops Hurt Cat going, gonna be doing my best bonus penguin impression. Yeah, definitely. This is going to be a race to watch. Like, keep an eye on Strambles. We'll see where he places. And Just Defend is going to be another person to watch for sure. We also had a small panic moment with one of our racers, like, potentially losing internet, and we're like, reset everything, please, and they're back, and everything is fine. The joys of the internet. But I hope everyone's like having a great day today, and
it's
ready for some Pilot Wings.
a little hot outside, but
yeah, it's a perfect time to go skydiving into some water, right?
no,
True.
you gotta land on the ground.
No, it's you gotta land on the land.
Land on the land.
Yeah, very important.
And you know, the parachute is not scuba equipment.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean, you'll sink real fast, but breathing, different question. But no, nobody said
what a
anything. I
good
think we're
meme.
waiting our requisite, minute and 15 seconds. While we wait, I asked if they wanted to start early.
So what's our proof call this time around?
So they have typed in a number into the password, and that number is what is it? It's a cyclical number in base 10 that represents 1/7. It just repeats that repeatedly.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, it's like a super meta math reference, and it's great because it's game 7.
I see.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, it fit. But yes.
All right.
Let me go back to this.
Ooh, I'm just like, I really hope Strambles does well. I'm rooting for Strambles today. I'm rooting for everyone, but I'm rooting for Strambles hardcore.
Yeah, I mean, it's an underdog story. They definitely felt eliminated for at least the past 3 weeks, and then I just remember that they typed in chat when I revealed Pilot Wings. Oh, I have a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I just love how, their chance comes down to Pilot Wings. Nothing gives me more joy.
It's
Exactly.
great that everything for a lot of people is riding on Pilot Wings. And the race is getting started very soon. And everyone going into skydiving. We see 1 of 40 immediately going for the light plane.
There we go. The strat exists. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about Pilot Wings, the game. So those who never played it, is kind of like a flight simulator sort of game, except it's more than just flights. We actually have different disciplines. We have skydiving, the plane, hang gliding, and the rocket belt, which you'll see later. So what is going on here? What actually is 1UP doing? I'm not really sure.
Maybe he's gonna land instead of crashing and get the 5 points that way.
They got their own backup. Well, okay, so we're off to the races. Strambles and Socrates managed to hit this moving platform here. So some of the disciplines, except for the plane, actually all the disciplines except for the plane, have the bonus category. So normally how it works is you land on certain, you have certain objectives. You have to land the plane on those, or land your discipline on those objectives. However, there are certain bonus objectives that are much harder to land. But if you are able to do it, these are super valuable as they give you the maximum score you can get normally, which is 100 points. And on top of that, you get a bonus round, which gives you extra points, up to 70 points, depending on the discipline and the objective. So you can see Shrambles and Socrates were able to get the bonus, and they went ahead, did skydiving, they got their bonus, and they didn't even have to do the plane.
Okay.
So they're just moving on.
Just side note, did you see that ridiculous setup of rotating around in circles that that Shrambles did to land perfectly for that penguin?
I did not.
Oh my! It was.
I'm sure we'll see it again.
He spun around in a circle and then angled and then went in just like not straight in, but just added like a missile. It was crazy.
I like Shrambles' setup here for the very
That's
close.
rough.
So the interesting thing is you can kind of see like here, like Socrates is opting for a different kind of strat. So with the first stages, you basically get one bonus game down, and if you get enough points, you don't need another bonus. The only time we're getting 2 bonuses is relevant is in stage 4 and stage 8, which are extremely difficult to pull off, but we'll talk about that later. So the thing about the bonuses is not all bonuses are created equally. As you can see on Socrates' screen right now, this is a bonus that was different from Trainer 1, where they got the skydiving bonus. Unfortunately, Shrambles
It looked
wasn't
like
able
half
to hit
the
the
platform was missing.
No. But you can see Socrates' bonus is different, right? Like there's different actually bonuses depending on which discipline you get the bonus on. The skydiving bonus is by far the fastest, but it could be super hard to nail depending on your kind of like familiarity with the discipline. You have, I think, a little bit less control with the skydive compared to the Rockabelle. I think the Rockabelle personally has like the most control out of all the disciplines, but it's different from person to person how they feel. Ooh, you can kind of see it on Shrambles right now, right? Like he keeps going for it. It's tough. It is really tough to hit, but I respect him for going for it. So. And we see Pika Pals was able to get through, ended up failing the skydive a few times on Trainer 1, but was able to kind of like get through that and able to move on. Was able to get the Rockabelle bonus. The Rockabelle bonus on 2, I think, is like super easy. I don't expect any competitor to really fail that. Also, like, the eyes from Shirley is great. All the reactions from the trainers are like my favorite part of this game. It's just a really goofy game, but yeah, Socrates is doing super well. He's already on to lesson 3.
But if you can get that point, not sure.
I don't think so. No. Unfortunate, but it's okay. 130 is fine. So yeah, you're graded. And you need a certain amount of points to pass. So normally, if you don't do the bonus, you get a maximum of 100 points, and you have to do all the disciplines that are present. I guess technically you can skip one without bonus, but it's not important. So the reason why really the bonus matters so much is, of course, not doing all the disciplines is great, but also what is really good about that is you don't have to do the plane. The plane is by far the slowest out of all the disciplines, so you really want to just avoid doing the plane as much as possible, and the best way to do that is to just get the bonus objectives. But you don't have to if you don't want to. There's a few competitors that have kind of opted to avoid just doing the bonuses because they are really hard to get. You can see Socrates right now trying to get the bonus with the hang glider, and unfortunately kind of overshot it. It can be really difficult to hit some of these bonuses, so just opting to do more safer strats when you just like use all the disciplines, including the plane, is not bad at all. So yeah, definitely interesting. And I take it Shrambles was able to get the skydiving bonus.
Yeah, got a 150.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, so all he's got to do is now land at that little big yellow thing right here for the 70. Perfect. There we go. Moving on. So he's moving on lesson 3. So let's see how 1UP is doing here. So 1UP is going for the lesson 3 bonus, it looks like. I know there's a few bonuses he opted not to go for.
Yeah, hadn't gone for any up until now, unless this is a weird setup for. No, that's
I love
bonus.
it. I love this setup. This is perfect. So what he's actually doing is, so you can see in your top left. Perfect. So you can see the top left of his screen, that little like compass, I guess, for lack of a better word. That's your wind indicator. and the line indicates where the wind is going in relation to you. So what 1UP actually did there, which enabled him to make that landing, and unfortunately Socrates wasn't able to make that landing, what the difference between the two of those was the wind. So 1UP set himself in such a way that he was against the wind, which is really, really good for hang glider because it limits, like, you know, how fast you're going when you're landing. So it allows you a lot more control. So even though what he did kind of cost him some time in setting that up, oh my god, look at his mash. What the heck?
Okay, that's...
Oh jeez.
I'm jealous of everyone who can mash.
Right? So the bonus of hang gliding is it's literally just press A as fast as you can. Just mash it. And you can get up to 50 points. You see, Pika Pals wasn't even able to get the 45. That's basically how my life is.
Oh, wow. Shrambles with the very nice flaring to actually just drop on top of that pad.
Yeah, that works sometimes. Yeah, hang gliding is an interesting beast. It is, I think the hang gliding, at least for like starting off the game, is like the hardest discipline to just kind of get the hang of it and get used to it. But I think once you get used to it, and you're kind of seeing the competitors now, they had a route choice in lesson 3. They could have opted to do the hang glider bonus, or they could have done the jetpack bonus. Oh, unfortunately Socrates is going in the water again. But you can kind of see everybody is really opted to do the hang glider bonus. And I think that's just kind of like a representation of just like how much more comfortable they feel with the hang glider than the rocket belt necessarily. Also, look at Lance's size. It's great. So yeah, look at that. 1UP is the first one on to lesson 4. So now we have all 4 disciplines. You've kind of seen a demonstration of all of them. Now you're going to see all of them in play. So they need to get 300 points in order to advance to the next lesson. So if you are incredibly good at this game, which, you know, somebody like the world record holder like Hayfield Bay is, you could just do 2 disciplines in lesson 4 and move on, because you can get 2 bonuses. However, that is extremely difficult to do.
I just watched Hayfield Bay completely yeet himself straight on to the bonus in level 4 with the jetpack, so that was... it looked crazy.
So it looks like Shrambles did really well in lesson 3. Socrates is a little bit struggling right now, and Pika Pals is on to lesson 4. So honestly, everybody here is doing pretty well. I know Socrates has had a few struggles with this hang glider, as you know, unsurprising because it is very hard to get the hang of it. But aside from that, everybody's doing super well so far. See, 1UP is lining this hang glider. The hang glider bonus in lesson 4, honestly, I think is easier than the one in lesson 3, simply because you just have like more platform to work with. I say that as 1UP is struggling here. Is he gonna? Yeah, all right. Very good, very good. Excellent. So he will be doing the bonus here. I just want to see his mash again. This is a thing of beauty. So the bonus of hang gliding is literally just mash your button, right? You just press the A button as much as possible, and you're scored based on how well you mash that. You can do up to 50 points. But yeah, like I've gotten 50 maybe like twice ever, and like, you know, this guy is just on a different level. I don't even understand how you do this.
He's so high.
Must be nice.
How are you that high? How are you going back up?
This is absurd.
Filthy.
He just like he let go of the button already.
He's wasting time by mashing that well.
This is incredible. I don't understand. Pika Pals unfortunately overshot it, but Shrambles is okay there, so he'll be getting. Oh, wow, dead center.
Wow,
Damn.
that's an absurd landing.
He needs like bonus points for that, you know. All right, so 1UP is moving on to the rocket belt. I'll be curious if 1UP is gonna opt to do the bonus again. The rocket belt bonus is definitely doable for these competitors. The platform that they have to land on is super tiny, which makes it a little bit difficult to get, but if he feels comfortable with it, I can definitely see him going for it. Shrambles getting a 140. You know, it's a bit for more mortal human beings like myself. That seems like more accurate. Let's see what 1UP is doing. Looks like 1UP is opting for the normal stage rather than going for the bonus. Totally respect that. Oh no, Socrates, unfortunately, still struggling with the hang glider.
Mode 7 is hard.
It really is. Definitely is.
Like, depth perception does not exist.
Agreed. So, look at Big Al. Big Al is just crying right now. It's great. So yeah, so the 1UP only needs 50 points to advance. So it's a pretty easy skydive. It's literally just landed on the platform, and you should be pretty good. They are these optional rings that you can get as part of the skydive. For Socrates, or excuse me, for 1UP's case, it doesn't really matter because they just really need to land it on the target. But they're very useful for the extra points. So, you know, for when your run isn't going so well and you need those extra points, it could be super useful.
That was a really... Trembles are moving really fast for that great landing.
Yeah, that was really good, really good. You could see like Shambles is super good movement. Like had a little bit of a struggle with the with lesson 3, but or excuse me, lesson 2, but the movement by Shambles is super good. Looks like Socrates is on.
Yeah, it decided not to do the bonus anymore.
Yeah, it looks like they're just opting to do normal hang gliding. That's the thing about this game is. It's just like you can be in one of those situations where it's just not going your way. You're just a little bit off, and then you know, you're that little bit off, and then you fail, and then you lose like at least a minute, and then you have to do it all over again. Then you're off by a little bit, and you fail again. And it's like, you know, you're not even like doing that bad, right? But like just things are going like super wrong.
All right, so I'm seeing 140 being at 44 height.
Oh, 40. Yeah, so 1UP's now in the helicopter mission. So there's a helicopter mission, and as you can see, he's actually he has you know, little missiles, I guess, or gun from his helicopter, because there are like turrets that you have to fire at because they fire at you, so you want to destroy them. And you're trying to land on this platform to, like, you know, there's actually lore behind this game. You know, there's like an evil syndicate or whatever that we're trying to, like, you know, rescue our trainers from. But in any case, so how this mission works is the turrets are on the ground, and if they see you, they fire at you. But if they don't see you, they don't fire at you. So you can use that to your advantage by simply being at a certain altitude, and they won't be able to see you. The downside to that is if you are too low and you happen to spot one of them, you're more than likely going to get hit by them, and one hit is your doom. So it's an interesting strat that the runners can use. You can see what Trembles is doing in the top left, right? Like they're going to maintain like this 50 feet altitude or whatever, and this is going to enable them to just go straight to the objective rather than have to destroy any of these turrets, like 1UP is doing right now. So
just looking off screen, LK is doing the same thing, but at 13 feet the entire way.
Oh, that's the good stuff right there. Going for the super low altitude. You know, it gives you that more flexibility. Also, look what Trembles is doing right now. So your objective is to actually land on the helipad. Like you can see on 1UP screen, right? They're landing on the helipad in order to rescue the trainers. However, so in other disciplines, normally in like lessons 1 through 8, if you were to land before an objective is completed, or if you land out of an area, that's like penalizing, right? Like you either lose points or you just don't get many points, whatever it may be. However, for some reason in the helicopter, and I had no idea about this until today, by the way, for some reason, you could just land the helicopter wherever you want, and it doesn't actually penalize you in any way, because this is simply a pass or fail mission. So
yeah. And it gives you so much like ability to turn, because turning that helicopter is really, really hard. But it just removes all of your momentum by landing. So you just take off again and you turn where you have to go. And it's really smart to do that.
So 1UP on your top right screen is in lesson 5. So now we're back repeating the lessons. We're repeating the trainers rather. But it's more difficult. There's more wind, the points you need is higher, and the objectives are more difficult. 1UP opting to do the plane here. Most will opt to just do the skydiving, because if you can do the skydiving bonus, you skip the plane here. But I guess 1UP feels pretty comfortable with the plane here. Getting 65 points, so that's not bad. Only needs a 75 with the skydive, which shouldn't be too difficult.
Shambles going.
But you see Shambles is going for the bonus. And you can see kind of the time save if Shambles gets this. We'll see. Oh no! You know, you really hate to see it.
You ever just been half on, half off?
Yeah.
And the game just doesn't care?
Sometimes it just be like that, you know? What can I say about Pilot Wings?
Okay,
But in any case,
let's see if 1UP gets robbed here. This
Should be
circle is a
okay.
bit of a lie. Oh, but lands in the middle. There's no way.
Ooh.
There's no way they
It
get
is
robbed.
interesting. I'm pretty sure he could have landed in the bigger circle as long as he was in the center. But in reality, I guess they're both kind of similar. So
It gets the
all right,
bonus.
Shambles gets the bonus. So they're kind of neck and neck with each other. Shambles is a little bit behind, but not too much behind. We'll see what happens. One up opting to go for the plane again in less than
So
6.
Shambles has gotten this one a third time. Just watch the rotation
I,
strats.
I see this. This is actually pretty funny.
It just does a backflip and then just nails it. It's great.
Do a flip.
So we see on the bottom right, Socrates is unfortunately not having a great time of it. He's actually in lesson 3 still, and he's opting for the plane. And you can see why we really want to skip the plane, because he's just flying right now, and he's going to be there for a while.
I think he got
you
the
have to
points he
do
needed with the arch, or I think he needed 5 more points. He didn't need 20. He needed 25.
Did he?
Yeah.
So he's just going to get the rings then. He doesn't have to actually land the plane, which is good. Okay, so Shambles is going for the skydiving here in 6. This is where things start to get really spicy for the skydive, because you have a lot of wind. You have a bigger platform, so it helps in that regards. But the wind could definitely be a little bit issue. And let's see how his setup is over here. Is this gonna work?
I think opened it a little too late, or well, early.
The
I guess.
setups the Shambles does for the skydive are really nerve-wracking watching.
The immediate clicked on light plane reset. I have a feeling Shrambles never bothered playing the light plane.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Go big or go home, which is kind of what he had to do to make it into top 8. So
I respect it. So Socrates is finally done with lesson 3, moving on to lesson 4. Sometimes you just have a bad day. You know, I think personally for me, I think lesson 3 and lesson 7 are the hardest. I don't think lesson 4 and lesson 8 are harder, but that's just me. So let's see if Shambles can get this bonus again. Going for this. Did he overshoot it? He overshot it. Yeah, he overshot it. Yeah. Unfortunate. Let's see how Peak Pals, I know, failed the helicopter once. So you see Peak Pals doing the regular strat, excuse me, with the helicopter, where you're just going to be at a normal altitude. He's going to find the correct turrets. He's going to fire them. There are hidden turrets too, so you need to be careful in that regards. You can see him trying to kind of like evade all of the hidden turrets and all the visible turrets. So the bullets that fire at you they fire at you based on where your position was at the time of firing, as far as I'm aware of. So the best way to like juke them essentially is to like position yourself like slightly to the left or to the right of the turrets, let them fire at you, and then you turn towards the turret and fire at it. This is pretty easy when you can see the turret, but when you can't see the turret, it's a little bit more challenging. Oh, Pika Pals almost got sniped by that rogue hidden turret, but he's okay. He should be fine.
you just gotta, not splash through the concrete. You'll be fine.
You should be fine. Socrates getting the hang glider bonus first try. See, that's how it is, right? You struggle with the hang glider 3 bonus for so long, and then all of a sudden hang glider 4 bonus, no problem, first try.
I'm going for light plane instead of rocket belt for Shambles.
Interesting. Honestly,
maybe he just wants to grab like 20 points or something immediately.
Yeah, I didn't quite see what his point count was. I don't think that's the case. It might have been he just needed a few points. No?
He needed 90 to complete the mission. So it's possible that landing was taking too long for the rocket belt or couldn't control it as well. And this felt faster. Because like this is going to be close-ish.
That's going to be like 6. It's going to be like 60. This was 70 points maybe. Nah, probably not even 70 points to be honest. Like his angle is really bad. That's also the rough thing about the plane is the judging for the plane is the harshest, I think, out of all of the categories. Look at that.
77.
Actually, 77.
Okay.
That wasn't even that bad. That wasn't even that bad to be honest.
I mean, it gives you a really fast rocket belt though, because you just need to complete the objective and land.
Yeah. The thing about lesson 6 is it can be very difficult to get the skydiving and the rocket belt and have enough points to pass, because you need 240 points. So you need to have a really good, like if you're doing the rocket belt bonus, for instance, you need to have, of course, the rocket belt bonus and have a lot of points there, but you also need to have a really good skydive.
and vice versa, you know, is true with the skydiving the rocket belt. So it's very common to like be a few points short, and then you have to like use the plane or whatever. I don't even think he needs to land this.
Yeah, I think he had enough points. As long as he got. Well, it depends on how much the rings are. Okay, yeah. So we did need that 20. So yep.
Yeah, perfect. Pigapel's getting the bonus 5 the first try. That was really well done by him. So he should be moving on. Yeah, this is the easy one. It just needs to hit that middle section there. It could hit the top right, but you know, we're just gonna hit the middle one right there, get your 50 points, and you should be good. Socrates is finishing up skydiving here. I believe he needs like 70 points or something like that. So he should be fine. Let's see how One Up is doing. One Up did land the 7 hang glider, I believe.
Yes.
Looks like that. So yeah, awesome. Great. Doing that first try is really hard. So to be able to execute that was awesome. And yeah, the challenging thing about the 7 hang glider is, so there's, you know, objectives that you have to accomplish first before you can land. With most of the disciplines, with the hang glider in this case, you have to reach an altitude of 700 feet. The only way for you to go up with a hang glider is to take these little cloudburst things. I don't know what you want to call them, and it is really difficult because if you're off just by a little bit, you can end up not hitting that minimum of 700 altitude, and then you just basically wasted your 30 seconds or actually like a minute, because trying to like recover from not hitting it the first time is super difficult.
Yeah, they only punch you up 350, so if you drop a little too low, it feels really bad.
So
as we see Shrambles' flare set up here.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, this is interesting. It's just like going super in on the flare. The thing about the flare is it drops you a lot, so you have to be careful not to use it too much. But at the same time, you want to use it so you don't go too fast forward. Oh, this is too much. Just
a little bit too far to the right. I think would have landed it if they or left. I mean,
he might have been okay if he was like properly like angled, but it was rough either way. So fortunately, losing it on 7 is even worse than 3 because of the objective. You spend far more time resetting when you miss this one. So unfortunate, but it's like One Up was able to get the 100 in the rocket belt. So yeah, he's good. He's moving on to lesson 8. Really well done.
Speaking of moving on to lesson 8, we just had Hayfield Bay finish in first place off stream with a time of 23:39.
So about that consistency.
Yeah. I was actually basically having the exact same issues Shrambles was having with the 2 skydiving, and then just everything else was perfect.
Yeah, I believe that's within a minute of the world record for a game like this. That's pretty impressive. So yeah, well done. So let's see how Shrambles is going to do with his hang glider this time. I believe Peak Pals is moving on to lesson 7. Well done.
Taking a different strat, it seems.
Interesting. Okay, I see what he's doing. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so you can see on the top left of Shrambles' screen, you can see the wind right now is pushing him to the left, but it's also pushing him behind, which is great because it kind of gives you that added control. As opposed to like kind of going with the wind here and like having like no control whatsoever. This isn't good.
Oh my goodness, that did not. How?
There's like this weird momentum with the hang glider. Like I don't even know how to explain it, but like you're being pushed like in one direction, and then once you land, it like resets all your momentum or something. It's like really weird. So you can use it to your advantage. One Up is again doing the behind the wind strat. I love it, and he was able to land it with no problem. I love the approach that he's taking, where it's like, yeah, he's gonna cost himself a little bit of time doing what he did there, but it makes getting the bonus so much easier with the hang glider that it's like super worth it. Definitely like the approach here, especially in a race setting.
Absolutely.
So let's see, Pika Pals is trying to set up the hang glider bonus again. I'm honestly like really surprised that all of these competitors went for the hang glider bonus instead of the rocket belt bonus. I expected more people to go for the rocket belt bonus.
I think what ended up happening was people did that, but then had more fun playing this game than they expected, because I'm just watching everybody, and it looks like everybody played a lot of this game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, really overshot that one, but it happens. What can you do? Socrates is moving on to lesson 5, so I think ever since that, stumble on 3, he's been recovering pretty well.
And with the Hayfield Bay finish, with Just Defend having joined this race, Just Defend has locked himself into playoffs. Just because of how the points work out.
I love the scenarios that Alpha's cooked up. This is great.
I have all of it written down, and every possible tiebreaker and resolution already worked out.
That's amazing, especially when you consider the situations are variable based on how many competitors enter.
It becomes a lot easier when it's like, okay, I'm just gonna, exclude the stupid scenarios, like everybody except for, LK ties for first place. Like, just remove those, and it makes it easy.
All right, so Scrambles on to lesson 8, and looks like 1UP is trying to. Ooh, Socrates was able to get the parachute, the skydiving, first try in 5, so that's great. And 1UP was able to get 100, looks like, on the rocket belt, so that is very good. Al's crying. Love Al crying. It's always very good. Only needs 70 points, so skydiving shouldn't be too difficult. Needs to get a few rings for safety, but doesn't really need to get all of them.
Even if, and it's possible, I'm just thinking about the scoring, if they get all the rings and then just decide to land, they can just get the 40 points very quickly with the plane and then crash. So I don't think they're in a huge amount of danger, but this is not the hardest skydive at all.
Nah.
Especially when the wind is so helpful with where you're going in this one. It just can drop you on top of it.
Yeah, so perfect.
And perfect.
That will be good. So 1UP will be moving on.
Aiming for the hang glider, the diagonal approach again.
This is good. This is good. Using the wind to his advantage. Yeah, perfect. Well done.
There it is.
Very good.
Well done. Let's see how Pika Pals is doing. I don't know if Pika Pals failed the hang glider the first time, or is this their first attempt?
I think they did it once before, but maybe they did other stuff first, depending on what their strat is for this.
So 1UP is on to the last mission. So this is the helicopter mission again. And it's the same thing as the first helicopter. However, there's more turrets, so it's a little bit more challenging. And looks like, is 1UP going for probably opting for what he did earlier, where he did low altitude at the beginning and then kind of rising the altitude towards the end.
Yeah, so I have the start of the level is the same. It's just the landing portion is extremely different.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it looks like this is exactly what he's doing. Doing the low altitude strat here in the night mission is a lot more challenging because there's just a lot more turrets. So if you're off by just a tiny bit, you're probably gonna get hit. So opting for the safer strat here, safer approach. Let's see. Pika Pals is doing the approach on 7. Okay, that should be. All right. Using that wind to his advantage, was able to get the bonus, so that's really good.
And 140 taking the aggressive approach, dodging. This could be dangerous, but seems to be okay.
Gotta be careful with these multiple bullets here. Oof. I love the aggression here. This
is hyper aggro.
Interesting. Okay. Going behind here. That's fine. Oh, Pika Pals is another 50 gamer on the hang glider mashing. I'm so jealous.
I wonder if Pika Pals also hovers when he plays Link the Past Rando. He feels pretty good at that.
Looks like Socrates is going for skydiving in 6. This is... Okay, no. He went for rocket belt bonus, so I think he's just...
Yeah, taking that 70.
Objective, yeah, perfect. So, yeah, no, that'll be fine.
And 1UP40 gets it.
pretty forgiving. Oh, all right. So 1-up is actually done. As soon as we see the golden Pilot Wings menu like on stream, that is when he's finished. So it's a few more seconds here, and he'll be done.
Yeah, and that's a lock in for 1-up 40 is secured playoffs with that finish.
Sweet. Well done.
He saved Big Al's brother. Very important.
And that's time.
Yep, that done.
Well done, well done. That's a great time. What are we looking at?
31:12 according to the SRL room.
Whew, that is impressive. Very impressive. Very impressive. Honestly, like when I first like kind of saw like, you know, when I was first kind of like playing through this game and like looking through everything, I was like, I'll be very surprised if I saw like sub 40 competitors like race time. I figured people would get sub 40 PBs, but you know, seeing a 31 is like really, really impressive. So very, very impressed by what the competitors have done today. Let's look at Shambles' screen. So let's see what the Shambles is going to do here for the last mission.
This is going to be spicy.
Just wanna see what they're gonna do. So yeah, like Alpha mentioned, the first part is the same as the first helicopter mission, so pretty easy to low altitude your way through that if you're familiar with the low altitude strat for the first helicopter. But I believe Shambles is opting to stay low altitude for this, which is really interesting because fun fact, the world record currently does not do low altitude for helicopter 2. They do high altitude.
It's insanely difficult, but I think just because of the landing to turn, which gives you the lineups that you need and like the control, it works out because like he definitely lands adjacent to a turret. Like you can see the outline of where the gun is, like it's right there.
It's so goofy that this
genius.
works. I cannot believe it. This is amazing. Like his angle, like when landing, is terrible, but the game doesn't care. It's so good.
This is amazing. He just hopping past. This is how you do a stealth helicopter mission when you're supposed to shoot a bunch of turrets. That's it for Shambles.
Yeah, so you may be thinking, oh, he's like keeps landing and stopping. This is really so not at all, because he doesn't have to kill a turret. This is by far faster.
He just saved like 2 minutes by being silly and took no risk to himself whatsoever. It was crazy. Like it looks hilarious and is amazing.
That is so good. All right, so Trembles is going to be finished soon as we see the menu here, the screen. And that's time. Good job, Trembles. And we do have Spritz T on screen now, I believe so. Is it mission 8? So that's great. Opting for the plane here. It looks like they're opting to land the plane instead of just getting the points from the arches. So something I mentioned on the tutorials is, while we really don't want to see the plane, it can be used to your advantage because there are sort of quick points you can get off the plane. For instance, in Trainer 8, if you, oh my god, Pika Pass. I saw the most unfortunate bounce and just got kicked into the water. But anyway, with the plane, you can get a few points. For instance, with level 8, if you hit these 2 arches, which you're required to do before you land the plane, you get 40 points. And, you know, you may be having like, maybe a little bit off on like some of your other objectives. Oh no, oh no, Spritz. Oh no. That was rough.
It's rough.
So, but yeah, you may be having a rough go at it with your other objectives and you just need a few more points and then just use the plane. So, let's see here. Oh, so we have just defend.
Yep.
Nice. Very nice. So he's on 8-2. Everybody's doing super well. I mean, even Socrates, had his struggles early on. He's been doing pretty well since. He's doing a great job trying to come back. So I'm very impressed with what everybody has done so far with this game.
Yeah, so this is going to be close for playoff implications. Shambles is currently, with the points that he got, occupying the 8th seed. However, if Pop-Tart Cat finishes and gains 47 points, which they are on the last mission right now, so I think they're going to do it. Will get knocked out. Would be a shame, but it just has to not choke the final helicopter mission as LK finishes off stream.
Yeah, just as you said that, Alpha, I turn on Pop-Tart's stream
just
and
got
they
immediately
failed the
obliterated.
helicopter mission. You know, that's really not nice of you, Alpha.
I mean, you know, he got a commentator curse at some point. Just nobody else can see it.
This looks like Spritz is going for the bonus here. Hang glider really high here. This is okay. Perfect.
Wow.
Perfect recovery. That was perfect recovery.
That was sick.
Using that momentum to his advantage again, like what I was mentioning earlier, is like you can just be on the weirdest momentum and just as soon as you land on it, it just kind of like resets it, and it's just like you use that to your advantage. So that was well done. If he didn't do that, he was easily going to be in the water. So that was a super good recovery by Spritz. So it looks like Socrates is now on to 8. Well done. So hey, he's caught up with a lot of the competitors. Honestly, he's like, he's set for a 40-minute time. Which, if you consider that how much time he lost in 3, this is not bad.
He lost like 15 minutes in 3 and is almost caught up to people. Like it's nuts.
Yeah, it's really good. Spritz is another masher, getting the 50. I just need to learn something. I need to learn from them, you know. Amber, I need you to try the hang glider bonus one day so you can understand.
I can try. Like, I'm okay at mashing. I occasionally, I can't hold a candle to TGH. Mr. Hovers in Link to the Past and absolutely destroys any Mario Party mashing minigame. But I can do okay in mashing games.
Okay.
Like I know there's the Mario Party 4 mashing game where you had to create the thwomps, and the highest I think I ever gotten that was like maybe an 80 something when I was a kid and mashed all the time.
Yeah.
My brother has gotten 169, which is insane.
Yeah, like I recall that mashing minigame for Mario Party 4 was like the thing that TGH was like when I introduced him to Mario Party. He was just like, I want to play that minigame again, and just kept playing it repeatedly. And I don't remember what score he got, but I just remember being like, I hate you so much right now. By the time he was finally like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, that's the only minigame my brother absolutely is the only one he beats me at. So fine. All
Biggie
right.
Bell's unfortunately failing the hang glider again. Struggling a little bit on this hang glider 8 here. So one thing that I saw, we saw Spritz do, and he's been doing kind of like with the skydiving as well, is he's using the wind to his advantage, which we saw 1UP do earlier, in that you know, you have the wind behind you, so it gives you more control. Peak Bells isn't opting to do that, which in 8 isn't terrible because, you know, if you're landing it the fastest way, you have the wind to your side, which is okay. It's not like, you know, the best, of course, but it's not terrible. Having the wind with you is terrible. It's like super hard to control. But yeah, we can see like using the wind to your advantage, like what Spritz has been doing, what 1UP did, is like very beneficial.
Okay, and Pop-Tart Cat just finished off stream, meaning, let me just check how many points they got. That's 64. That is actually the amount of points they needed to not even have a chance of being eliminated by Shrambles.
Dang.
Yeah, even if Shrambles got the big hundo, that would have put him at 343, which, because of the way the tiebreakers worked out, Shrambles would not have been able to match. Shrambles immediately commenting that he blames Pony after finding out he was eliminated. Poor Shrambles.
Oh, no, Justifendo! Oh my, Justifendo was trying to land the plane. This is what happens when you try to land the plane. It's so hard. You know what? That's weird that he got 0 points there. I'm not sure why. Interesting. Anyway,
About
He
to
didn't
change
land
the
on the
category
land,
from
he
any
landed in
percent
the
to
water.
don't land the plane.
Broke the rules.
I guess he broke the rules. So Spritz is on to the final helicopter. Well, Socrates got a 97 on Hang Glider. That's... Wow, I'm jealous. That's really good. right, so it looks like Socrates should be moving on to, as long as he just, I believe he needs 76 points or something like that. So yeah, he's getting these rings no problem. So yeah, he should be.
Okay, so our tech person did figure out what Just Defend did. Just Defend needed 4 points and tried to land while skipping the rings. However, the rings are the rule. So if you try to land skipping the ring, you get nothing.
Oh my God, Socrates! Oh!
Oh!
What? What?
Holy.
Awful close, you don't say.
He needs 3 points. I hope he knows what he needs to do with the plane and doesn't repeat what happened to Just Defend. He needs to hit 1 arch. That's it. So literally all you have to do, I did show this in the tutorial, all you have to do is just start going hard to the left, like as soon as you take off. Yeah, he's setting up for it. Okay, he should be fine. Hopefully he's reducing, he should be, I think he knows the strat. I think he knows what he needs to do. So he should be fine as long as he
Spritz
hits
just
this.
dodging those. Okay, did take out the across the island turret. If you back up too much, that one hates you.
Yeah. All right, so Socrates is moving on. Very well done. Damn, Big Al's mad. All right, so very, very unfortunate for Just Defend. Has to redo that all over again. That stinks. But let's see, Spritz here is finishing up. Well done. I'm curious what Socrates does. I think he does full altitude for the helicopter, so he'll be kind of doing it pretty safe here.
I definitely heard Helilopter.
Listen, don't worry about it, all right?
Look, I typoed pilot wings in the title at the beginning of this stream. I did piloty wings.
You are. I think that's honestly more of an accurate game title than Pilot Wings. It's your pilotee, you know? You're not pilot, you're
wings.
pilotee.
Piloty wings and the Helilopter.
I mean, you know, you gotta fly things that don't have a lot of wings most of the time.
It's true. Oh boy. Oh, one thing we did mention in the rocket belt for level 8 is these objectives that you have to get, the little bouncy orbs here. They can really hurt your momentum to the point where they can launch you onto the ground, and if you hit the ground before you hit the objective, you get like a 2-point penalty per. So they can be really, really like sneaky in that regards, and they can be really annoying for your points. Because really, in lesson 8, every point really does matter. So you can be in a situation like Just Defend was, where he's 4 points short, and then suddenly things go wrong, and you don't have those 4 points anymore. So those 2 points do make a difference, but Just Defend does need 90 points.
Also,
pretty good with the
Spritz has
rings.
added their comment is blaming Boney is the only option.
I see. That's fair. Let's see what Just Defend does here. Gonna go for that, trying to go for that 90. If he hits, he doesn't even need to hit the innermost point total. He just needs that inner ring. Looks okay. Oh no, this is okay. All right. Very well done. That should be his 90. He should be good. Doesn't have to fly the plane again. Oh,
he missed the ring. Okay, he needs 6 points.
JD, please tell me you don't do the same thing. Okay, please don't do the same thing. Please read the objective. He didn't read the objective. Okay, I can only hope. I can only hope.
Just got to get a ring. It's worth 20. Go for both if you're worried. If you need it, I don't know. But you can't try to land the plane before.
No, he's trying to land the plane again, I think. Oh no. Oh, no.
I've even changed the category to don't land the plane %. Like, do not try to land the plane, please.
It's so impossible for Big Al too.
Yeah. No, wait. No, he's trying to land the plane. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Unless this works, you know.
I mean,
What if he gets some
tried.
random speed point?
I've never tried. does this actually work?
Landing
What?
okay. This works.
This actually
Oh, it
works?
Okay. Is that faster than getting an arch? Maybe.
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't think so, though. I can't believe it actually works. I thought that objective was required.
Yeah, yeah. But who flies a plane?
No, Socrates!
Oh, splooshed through the concrete. That's a rough one.
He dumped the... I saw that coming, and it was not pretty. Unfortunate.
You hate to see it.
You do hate to see it. All right, looks like Pika Pals was able to get the hang glider objective here. Doing pretty well in the rings. Missed one ring, so be getting 14 points. 20 for the rings. Oh, is JD going for the low altitude strat here?
Seems like it. Staying very low.
This is the really low altitude strat too. By the way, maintaining low altitude with a helicopter is like ridiculous. It's so hard.
Yeah, you're constantly going between like 90 and like a super low number. Okay, started super low, now is going high.
Oh, okay. So opting for the hybrid strat.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to get past the first part at low altitude as long as you know the one lineup.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, Socrates and JD are pretty neck and neck right now. I'm curious who's gonna come ahead here.
These turrets are making me nervous.
Right? It's I don't think you can ever feel comfortable when you're trying to destroy these turrets. It just makes you feel uncomfortable all the time. Like, if you just had to avoid them, it really wouldn't be too difficult. It's that you have to avoid and shoot them at the same time.
And sometimes they
That's what
decide
makes
not to
it, like-
shoot, so you get really concerned.
Uh-huh. Like right now, right? Like, look at JD's screen. They're just like not shooting. Ooh, JD's ahead. Just lets the land and not crash, and it should be.
Turns out you just
finishing.
land wherever you want as long as it's not in the water.
All right, looks good. Yep, pretty good.
Yeah, there you go.
No concrete sploosh.
No concrete swoosh. Perfect. Well done. Oh, Socrates is landing with that turret visible in his screen. That takes some real courage, I must say. Because you never know when that turret's just going to decide to shoot at you.
On Socrates, no concrete. There we go.
Perfect. Perfect. Well done.
Well done.
And then, ooh, Pika Pal's getting 100 on the skydiving. Very nice. And with that, he's moving on. So he is on the last helicopter, so he'll be finishing up real soon. And it's time for JD.
$49.07 according to the SRL room.
Solid. Hey, listen, everybody's beating my time from 2 weeks ago, so.
Comment added was sub-hour for no practice, and Socrates with a 49.26.
Excellent. Well done. Anybody else off stream still going?
Yeah, there's...
No, it's just Pika Pals as far as I know.
Wow, that's incredible.
Well, actually, I'm sorry. For our featured streamers,
Okay.
Pika Pals is what we got. We still have Huckleberry finished,
Okay.
and did Piper finish?
I think just did because I see it there. Let me go double check. Yep, Piper did finish.
Oh yeah, 7th place with a 47.17.
Looks like Huckleberry's doing really good off stream too. He's probably gonna get a sub hour easily.
Yeah, and they were concerned about, you know, a lot of the races in this, or like their times that they could get.
Nah. Yeah, they were super concerned. They were thinking they weren't gonna like finish in a day.
Yeah, it's like my PB is 4 days.
It goes to show you that like this game is super hard at first, like for sure. But like I think once you play it more and more, you get more comfortable in it. I think it gets, you know, a lot easier. But as you can see with like what happened to Socrates, that can still happen. So, you know, you can feel more comfortable, but you can never feel too comfortable.
These turrets just. Ugh.
It's especially what Pika Pals is trying to do. Like, just trying to go for all of them. Doesn't care too much, you know. Like what? Oh, unfortunate. See, like what I do is like a safer strat is like I'll try to like focus on one turret, and if I don't hit it, I'll just like back up so like everything's off screen and we just try again. But like what Pika Pals and some of the other competitors are doing is they're just opting to just kind of stay there, like do little jukes and then kind of get back on track and try to shoot it. Like it's the riskier strats, but hey, whatever works.
I want everyone in chat right now to give Pika Pals your energy as he takes on these turrets. And also give me your energy so I don't like keep making speedrunner noises on stream when I'm not the speedrunner.
That's okay. So, you know, everybody's allowed to make speedrunner noises.
Shoutouts to our wonderful tech Railcoon, who has some of the best speedrunner noises I've ever heard. Featured on Mercy Kill a couple weeks ago.
I appreciate the goal of make Big Al cry %. It's very good.
Oh, that's a good one. Although some people did that earlier, so you know. Save Big Al's brother.
The lore is very intense in this game.
The lore is insane.
Alpha, this is your favorite discussion point, so I'll let you explain.
Oh yeah, so like the lore is you're learning, you know, how to fly a plane from a bunch of people, one of which only knows how to use a motorcycle, nothing else, and is an admiral for that matter. And then like in the middle of that, they're just like, yeah, all your trainers got kidnapped by an evil syndicate. You're the only person who is licensed to fly a helicopter, which you've never flown before. You've barely flown a plane. You used a jetpack and a hang glider, and also jumped out of a plane, so I guess, or jumped out of a helicopter, so I guess that qualifies you for this? But anyway, you do that, then you learn more stuff, I guess. And then Big Al's brother is like the leading politician that opposes the evil syndicate. And that's who you're saving right now, is Big Al's brother.
It's great.
As Pika Pals is finishing this up.
Wait, is that really the lore?
Yes.
Yes.
That is the plot of this game.
I'm about to Google this.
There's an evil syndicate.
No way.
All right, so Pika Pals is going to be done in just a few seconds. And I think if I'm not mistaken, everybody's going to finish under my showcase time from 2 weeks ago. That's pretty impressive. And done. We're finished.
GG.
And I believe Pika Pals was the last racer too to finish in the race. So everybody's finished.
Yeah, Huckleberry finished with a 52.56. Wow. Wow.
That's great. I'm very, very, very surprised at how well everybody played this game. Like, I expected, like, you know, there'd be some good times for sure, but like to see everybody sub-hour is really impressive to me. So
it really is.
Well done to all the competitors. Hey, this makes me hopeful that some of the top 8 people are going to actually choose and play this as a game. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that would be really awesome. It'd be I'm interested to see who ends up being like, yeah, no, I'm not racing you in Pilot Wings.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I think Socrates has shown that, you know, I don't want to like rub it in or anything, but I want to like use him as an example that I think if he was to like race this again in the top 8, I think he would get a much better time, which kind of goes to show you that like you can end up doing what he ended up doing today, or you can end up being like 15 minutes faster than what you were today, you know, for Socrates. So it's a real wild card, I feel.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm also curious, like even post competition, how many people are going to stick to any of the games that have been featured up to this point in the league portion of the competition. Like that's probably like the most exciting thing about seasons for me personally, is finding a game that ends up being a not just 2-week speed run.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
But speaking of standings, I think we have our top 8 now, don't we?
Yeah, we sure do, as I press this 3 right here. But we do have our top 8. Just because there were actually quite a few bracket shuffles, and so we have our standings. I'm gonna push this to the website in a second because I have like a little challenge thing ready to launch so people can make predictions on this. But in first place, we have Pika Pals. In second place, LK. Third place, Piper. Fourth, What Up 40. Fifth, St. Joe. Sixth, Socrates. Seventh, Just Defend. And eighth, Pop-Tart Cat.
Yeah, so what you're looking at right now on stream is before the Game 7 totals have been added. So if Alpha pushes that to the website, it should show up.
Yeah, you know, let me do that right now, actually, because I can. I have everything here.
Technology.
There we go. So that's the standings we had before the race. And he's going to push it in just a moment, and we should be able to refresh and see our final standings.
Real quick.
But like, huge shout outs to everyone who played, honestly, because this has been a very, like, whether you played for one race or like all 7 races, like, this has been a really incredible series to host so far, and I'm really looking forward to our playoffs as well.
That is deploying now. If you refresh it, it might show up. I'm not sure how long it'll take to deploy. It's just building on the other server real quick.
There it is. There it is.
And yeah, you can see the lowest games grayed out and all fancy. But yeah, you can see the lowest game for everyone is dropped. Joe and Just Defend skipping their 1. And yeah, there's a the ninth place Sad Face Shrambles. So close.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, and it
was a good effort.
It feels bad knowing that Pop-Tart Cat got the exact score that you still would have made you lose. But you did your best.
I really love that, honestly, amongst all the top 8, like, there's only 2 dashes. Like, there's literally only 2 games that, you know, all of the top 8 didn't show up for. So that's, like, really impressive.
Yeah, Joe really didn't want to play Pilot Wings.
I respect it.
And meanwhile, Just Defend was like, I'm gonna sit out on LADX.
Yeah. But, you know, they might practice it in secret, just to, you know, have an extra arsenal that they might leave up if someone's not expecting it. You know, maybe Pika Pals doesn't practice Link's Awakening or Skyblazer because it's going to be permabanned against him. You know, stuff happens. LK learned a whole bunch of games he did not play for Season 2. And it paid off a lot, and he came up for some really sick strats for games like Ninja 5.0. I would not be surprised if people copy Shrambles' Pilot Wings, like, final level strat, if that ends up actually being played.
Yeah, and like one thing, like I actually want people to be aware of like what the format for top 8 is going to be, because this month we're slammed with Speed Seasons episodes. Like the 19th and 20th of June, we'll have 2 back-to-back episodes, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, and the same thing with the 26th and 27th will be 2 back-to-back episodes of Speed Seasons, as well as we go through our playoffs in top 8.
Yeah, there was a lot. They are best of 3s. People will be banning things. How's it gonna go? Who knows? It's been a wild season so far. I'm not sure who's gonna come out on top. Pika Pals of the few, I expect, you know, bans on possibly Pilot Wings and Doom to come out from Pika Pals, but you know, there's still plenty of room for upsets there. There's a lot of these racers were really close for a lot of the overlap of the games. You know, maybe they had one bad that the other person was good at. It's really close.
Yeah, and since I'm seeing a question in chat is like, can I participate in the next one? It's like, well, the open portion of this competition is over. But Alpha, I know, would like to plan a season 4. And you can definitely, it hasn't been scheduled, so we don't know when it'll be. But we're also taking games suggestions.
Yes.
If you want to talk a little bit about that, there is a form to submit game suggestions on the website.
There is a form on the
well.
website. I think I've linked it in like every post, and also I've simplified the menu on the website because, you know, I don't need to list all the games out anymore. They're in a drop down. You can just submit games that I can, you know, look over and do that. I'm thinking, you know, next season, in a year and a half, something like that, would be ideal, because that's probably the right amount of time to let everybody stew. Because if you look at this whole event, it's been 20 weeks the whole thing through, and everybody who's gonna, like, the winner of this could be very, very burned out at the end. So it's gonna be a whole thing. There's a lot. At the end, I remember I was exhausted because for the way the season 2 playoffs were, I talked, I think, you know, 8 hours a day for like 3 weeks straight. So it was a lot of effort, except for the times where Darkman got to talk about Mega Man 3. That was very, very important.
It's true. Lose your one break.
It was my break.
Well, that and
Wipeout after a while.
What couldn't you even say?
we ran out of things to say about Wipeout. I don't think we're gonna have that situation this time. I don't think everybody's just gonna default to a boring racing game, because 1, our racing game is good, and 2, I think everybody has a lot of different preferences about what they want to play, and I'm very excited about that.
So since someone's asking, like, are there any limitations to what games can be suggested? I will. What are you looking for?
So, if you look at the games I've picked, none of these were remotely the same genre. Well, I guess you could say Skyblazer and Super Mario are both platformers, but they don't feel the same. An NES platformer and a SNES game that kind of feels like Mega Man, it's a totally different feel. And it's a very different skill set. Like you can even see that for the people who did well in Super Mario Brothers, that didn't necessarily translate to immediate success with Skyblazer. You know, except for, you know, Pika Palace, who's been crushing it the whole season. And I guess also Just Defend, actually, they're mirroring their scores on those 2 games. But anything is really up for grabs. You know, maybe not a text adventure, or a game, or puzzle games make for poor speedruns, just because it's all memorization. But if it's an execution-heavy puzzle game, like a puzzle platformer, that works. Just anything goes. I actually tried to find an RPG for this one, but there wasn't one that quite fit the bill of time and making it so that people didn't have to memorize gargantuan textbooks of information over the period. I was sad that I couldn't quite find a grapple game that fit everything I wanted, because grapple games are really fun to watch. You know, so I'm looking out for those. But yeah, anything. I would take anything. It's a lot of fun to do this. I do want to shout out everybody who's kind of helped me over just this regular season part. Cool Kid for Super Mario Bros. 2, Dime for his excellent 5-hour tutorial of Doom and the run, and the Mythical 9 for helping commentate that, because Dime really wanted to play some Doom. Phantom Matt and Spirister for helping me with Link's Awakening when the runner had to drop out at the last minute, and getting me up there. Sunker for Katamari Damacy. Omnigamer for Skyblazer. Hypnoshark for Crash Team Racing. Darkman for, I guess, facilitating this and also being conned into playing Pilot Wings. Blasphemous Roar for making all of our reveal videos except for 2, which Railcoon did because Roar's computer exploded. So also thank you to Railcoon for being our tech. And then Boney for conning me into doing this by, when I asked him when season 3, he said, "You do it." So I did. And that was...
I mean, if you want something done, you gotta do it yourself.
That's usually the answer. It's just like, well, if that's not happening again, I'll just do it myself. Even though I wanted to race in it, it was just easier for me to put it on because I still played a lot of the games. just thank you to those people. I guess also Amber for helping host all of this the whole time, but we still have some arduous weekends ahead of us starting in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
It's still less intense than it was for season 2, so that'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, like we're looking at potentially, like you mentioned season 4 maybe in a year and a half. Like I think at most this should only be an annual event. It's
no, it can't
really
happen more frequently than
arduous.
that. Biannual would almost feel more comfortable because I know people burn out and some people join a lot of events.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, this is gonna be a good top 8, I feel.
Yeah, I think we're in for some really good races, I think, coming up. And like I said, those dates for the top 8 are going to be on the 19th and 20th of June, so that's a Saturday and Sunday. We're aiming, I know the website says we're starting at 1 p.m. We may be starting at 12 noon. Keep an eye on that website. Just to make sure, like we're assuming we're starting at 12 noon, I think.
Yeah, there's some scheduling issues that are happening next week, so we're starting a little bit earlier than normal. I've updated, I think, all of the information on my side, except for one page that I missed, but I'll go fix that now. But yeah, it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, and like for someone who's saying like, you know, how can you burn out like on a once a year event? Like, have you ever tried to learn 7 speedruns in a row? It's hard. Even learning 3 speedruns in a row can be very, very taxing. So like huge shout outs to these racers here who you see in the standings who attended almost every single race. Like there's only like 2 people who skipped one, and that's because they knew the lowest score would be dropped.
Yeah, and that like I do a lot of events in a row. Like I'm in Bro Sanchez Cusa Grande. Like that literally this I ended that and then immediately the next one started because of how late that one ran. It's hard if you don't get eliminated sometimes and it just never ends, and then you're running an event, you're trying to sign up for stuff. Eventually something's got to break the camel's back. So people do burn out. It's something that I am experiencing a lot of recently because I've basically been in a nonstop speedrun event for about 3 years running. Just it keeps going. So yeah, everybody is, you know, a real trooper, and you gotta give them some time, and you know, I gotta take some time to think everything through. It takes
exactly.
Because I also learned all these speed runs. They weren't as good as definitely not that Pilot Wings run, but it's a ton of effort.
Yeah, like, and also huge shout outs to you for like being the demo runner and tutorial giver for Link's Awakening as a last minute thing. Like I know that week was rough. Like I had stuff to deal with, you had stuff to deal with. It was rough.
I really wish Railcoon just told me in the morning instead of at midnight so I got to sleep that day. That was the only thing.
Yeah, I mean, like
hey, your runner had to
as
drop
soon as
out
we
because, you know, they had some stuff come up, and it was like, oh no. Yeah, they DM'd me.
Uh-oh. And yeah, like just still though, like we made it through. And at this point it's top 8, and like we're gonna enjoy the ride the whole time, I think. But do y'all have any closing words? I know Darkman, you hosted season 2. Do you have any closing words on this?
Yeah, it's always a treat, as you all have said, to see the dedication that the runners put towards making this happen and kind of learning all the games. It's like a struggle for me to learn like 1 game in 5 years. So, you know, to see people learn like 7 in, you know, what, 4 months, that's super, super impressive. So yeah, I very much appreciate everybody putting their time to it. And yeah, Alpha for putting all the legwork into it. As Alpha mentioned, I did kind of start off with helping Matt with this, but honestly, I didn't really do a lot. Alpha kind of did everything. So he's put in so much work to making this happen. So big shout outs to Alpha. And of course, a big shout outs to Amber, who stepped in for me because I was originally set to host this, but had some last minute things that I kind of couldn't put the time towards. But Amber graciously stepped in. So I appreciate you very much for doing that.
Yeah, it was my pleasure, honestly, because season 1 is what got me into speedrunning as an actual runner and not just a watcher. Like with Sonic Adventure 2. So like definitely like being able to help make sure that speed seasons could continue was really really important to me, and I was like very excited to be part of this, and I'm really excited to see where this goes for the top 8. I want to see who comes out on top. Pika Pals like may look like a favorite, but like you don't know if anyone's been practicing any of these games off stream. Bans happen and they can like completely cut you off from like your best games and force you to play your worst games. So I'm excited.
We definitely had a few surprises last year's, in season 2. With the top 8, we had a few people learn some games off stream that we didn't expect, and it produced some surprise results. So, we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, and Alpha, huge thanks to you for putting this on at all. Like, because speed seasons wouldn't happen without you just being like, all right, I guess if it's not going to happen without me doing it, I'll do it.
Yep. Yeah, no,
so,
it's crazy. Yeah, I fully expect some spicy stuff to come up. It's going to be very interesting.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's going to be it for us. I think we've got our closing thoughts in as we go into our top 8, starting on the 19th of June. Don't forget. So if you want to catch that, definitely tune in on that Saturday. So that's in a little less than 2 weeks, technically. It's about 2 weeks. But as a reminder to everyone, this is not our only Hotfix show. There are plenty of Hotfix shows throughout the week. All of our information regarding our different shows is available at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. From there, you can find out more information about submitting your runs to any of our weekly shows. I know later on today we will have Games Done Classic. Is that today? Or am I forgetting? I think Games Done Classic is today with Matt Lackey. And then also tomorrow on Hotfix, we will have the community spotlight hosted by our very own Railcoon with the start of Ocean Week. Tune in as we partner with the Monterey Bay Aquarium for ocean-themed speedruns and puns aplenty starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. And definitely tune in throughout the week for more ocean-based puns. There we go. My name is Amber Cyprin. I've been your host up to this point, and I will continue seeing us through the rest of Speed Seasons 3. And yeah, that's going to be it for us. Stick around as we take a quick break, and then later on this evening, go get some lunch, go get some dinner, wherever you may be, and then come back later on today for Games Done Classic. But y'all have a great rest of your day. And that will be at 4 p.m. Okay, thank you. I just got pinged that Games Done Classic is at 4 p.m. So 4 p.m. Games Done Classic, be there.